Okay, a detail that got missed months and months and months ago about the Twitter files that now I'm actually starting to get very, very curious because of a story that just dropped. The story that just dropped is that Doge has made sure to go through 5,000 employees of the FBI's names who were linked to the January 6th cases. They will be fired, and there's possibly apparently many of these agents they already have figured out how they're going to sue, but I mean they're fundamentally they're out. But the thing that's very interesting that I kept wondering why this hadn't dropped. Why had Twitter, with intact all the emails, all the email addresses, all the, in many cases, IPs of all these people who were definitely Antifa, people, what do you call it, threatening people, posting images that obviously what they were telling people to go to was fundamentally a riot. That's what they were about. I've really started to roll this over. I'm like, he has to have like so many of these, that it actually would be this thing that he would have to say, like, hey, this is evidence of crimes. Like, you can't threaten law enforcement and things like that over Twitter, even, why didn't the former owners of this do anything? But what I'm thinking is he's sitting on it. He's sitting on years of Twitter threats to people. And now he's getting to go through the government and cross-reference it all. Were any of these people going along with this? Were any of these people in cahoots with it? Were these possibly, in some cases, the same people working within the government and then, on their time off, hanging out with this kind of crowd of people? This is, I don't know how this can't kind of work this way. Because the internet's forever, and he got the whole company lock, stock, and barrel. They couldn't have purged all that. I'm thinking they could not have possibly purged all that. And remember, the whole time, they have 25 former FBI agents working at Twitter before Elon bought it. So they would have been aware of all these threats being made to law enforcement for years. I'm thinking he's sitting on it. He's been waiting for his revenge. But he had to get made by the new dawn. That's my theory. And I guess we'll see if it pans out. Because that's a lot of dirt to have on people. And remember, there's all this background stuff that I wouldn't know. That it would be like, he would have, I believe they would have IP addresses. There's a few of you, and you understand enough about the mechanics of the internet. Fill me in on that. He would have to be able to cross-reference these IPs. Like, is somebody... Yeah. Just tell me if this makes sense. You guys get this better than I do. Does this sound plausible? Because, where'd all that information go? Like, it just all vanished? Really? I'm not buying that. He just is ignoring it? Really? I'm not buying that. Like, that he's literally telling people straight up, like, oh, no, you're committing a crime on X right now by doing this, and this, by doxing people and blah, blah, blah. He literally pops up in comments saying, what you are doing right now is a crime. Like, so you can't do this on this platform. I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, look, it's the posse. It's our crew. It's our crew. Yeah, the duckies. Noble, honorable duckies. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that just perfection? Yeah, I've been remiss in doing the full walk. I need to do the full walk. Especially now that there's a bunch of people who obviously have been working on the chin-up area and stuff, and it's back to getting into anti-gravity. It's been a little too long. So now that I've got my personal space quite how I want, and things are good in the world again, and we won for now. The Hassan Piker thing's amazing. The Destiny and Hassan Piker thing. I didn't think it was all going to come apart that quick. I'm actually really amazed. Like, Ethan Klein did a great job, but I mean, as the guy who runs the channel Grifter knows, who's been tracking Hassan for years, it's amazing nobody ever brought this up. And I have a theory about this too. I'm thinking we're going to see Dan in front of Congress by probably the summertime, somewhere around summertime. They're going to have to do something about Hassan very, very soon. There is no way around. It would be very easy for somebody to make the logical, legal argument. He is definitely trying to recruit for these organizations. It'd be very difficult not to make it. Yeah, he would have to have a good lawyer, a really good lawyer, being that he had a guy from the Al-Houthi movement on his show. So that's that. It just, yeah, he's fucked up. He fucked up bad. He bet on, he chose poorly. He chose poorly. So, Destiny is going to face the crowd. That's the thing. Destiny is going to face the crowd, and what's really going to be interesting is it's going to be fascinating to see if he, what kind of the fate of this male feminist, the thing of the male. This male feminist was a good male feminist. Now what's happened to him? It was a typical one, and so what happened to him? And so Destiny's going to be interesting because the crowd is going, I think the young boys are going to be like, why do you record yourself having sex with people, homie? That kind of thing, and he won't live through that because it's legit kind of odd. It's legit odd as hell. And so I don't think he's going to live through that. Just the razzing. And because it's not like he could, it's. And then he did, it looks like, and very seriously, it looks like his recording of a conversation with a Californian without her knowledge, that's it. He's gonna pay money or see time for that. They don't play. California doesn't play about stuff like that. Especially when you have money. If you have money, they're going to extract money from you if they don't extract time from you. That's the way California really is. And anybody who's ever had a business there knows every bureau has to get its cut. Yeah. And you got to park at the bureau, and you got to do this at the bureau. There's plenty of money to be spread around doing anything in California. So, but I do think Hassan's fucked. Beyond that, okay, what was the other? Okay, Now, this is really something I don't know enough about finance, but okay, this would be like agricultural finance and kind of financing of industrial stuff, industrial extraction, like resource extraction and things like that. So something I was starting to think about was the way that our system was working. A lot of young people really don't get this part of it. And I think a lot of young liberals really don't get it. Because they just don't, there were so few critics even when I was young of FDR and the New Deal. People don't really know, most people don't, at the time, never knew much about the New Deal. They didn't know that many specifics. They were told what sounded great about it. Maybe they were people who were against big government. But by the time I'm a kid, and even into my adult years, there's this idea of it that the only people who make an argument like that are people like the John Birch Society. Because the idea is that if we hadn't gotten a humongous super government to make mega super nuclear weapons, even though it was crazy, Russia, the USSR would have never fell. Now, it turns out, to some degree, the arms race was for real deal Holyfield, like one kind of inevitable. Technologies, when you have people that are the best and you want them to do the most during their lifetime, there's just, what do you set them to do? There's only so much people could really imagine was necessary and doable and stuff, that you would set such minds that were in the government employ. But then there's that. They were in the government employ. So with the New Deal and its outcomes, who do you blame? Is kind of where my head's at now. But it's also that it's the end of it. This is the end of the New Deal. The mega state can't, especially with this sovereign wealth fund idea. Imagine if you owned a piece of America. So it comes into this idea of, well, how much do you think America is worth? And then, what is your piece of it? And then, is it bound to tether? And that's now, my head's running around about these ideas. He keeps talking up cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency has something to do with the American dollar's tether. The people talking about the sovereign wealth fund are talking about looking at America's asset part of the balance sheet. And there's huge investments that have been made in the United States. There's even been some of you on here who you told me to look for, and it was a pretty abstract term or concept, but it had to do with the actual sort of wealth represented by the infrastructure of a city. And I was very fascinated by that. I gotta look. I forgot the term. So now it's like I would have to find it. Maybe somebody has information. And so there's ways that people invest in super huge constructions. There's ways that land leases and stuff, all these pay off over time. A lot about what's going on with the United States is that there's systems upon systems that we now, we're starting to see, okay, the reason this doesn't come out the way we want is there's this part of the system has a bunch of people using it all wrong. Like they're functioning incorrectly within the system. And that's, there a lot of liberals just, the whole thing now that's really starting to come through with the liberals. Now that it's being openly exposed, there's thousands, and you are paying hundreds of thousands of people And they were concocting revolutions in developing nations. They were overthrowing democratically elected governments. Remember, the liberals have bought hook, line, and sinker Ukraine. It's not even a democratically elected government. It never was. It's a government that was from a coup d'etat, a junta took it over, and now we actually are starting to develop the money trail that goes all the way back to us and then various NGOs that were helping in this via USAID. So now what the first wave of that, and then there's that irony. Just get this, is this concept. Robert F. Kennedy started the new progressive movement. He's the one who did Ring of Fire. That was his show before that cocksucker took it over. So it's just the irony of all this is beautiful. Beautiful. It's art. I'm blown away by it. Like, only God could do things like this. You see, that's, yeah, and I mean, like, this is the kind of thing, like, people are going to put together, like, book after book after book about this period of time. Is this beanie? No, it's, okay. No, it's black. Okay, it's just kind of faded. Okay. I'm, like, looking in the phone, I'm like, is this a blue beanie? Could have sworn it was black, just, oh God, am I going blind now? I'm going colorblind. All right, so imagine if you now have your social, basically your benefits from society are based off of a sovereign wealth fund, and usage of this requires a cryptographic, like it's based on, so what your insurance policy is building up in a form of crypto. When you cash out, you're selling a finite amount of wealth. This would literally be a way of, I mean, like the ways that you would not be able to defraud people of Social Security. You would not be able to defraud people in Medicare. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of possibility. And it's starting to look like what the thing with the liberals now is they're these people who have a problem fundamentally with authority. And it finally got to the point, like, because Stefan Molyneux brought this up, he really blew me away with kind of the way he got into this, because he's like, no, what it is at some point probably your father failed, in immensely, or in a way that really hit you. It was really tragic. It was, prolonged, or he died, or, something. In some way, the male authority failed. And from that point, everything becomes the endless negotiation and care council meetings of the feminine, or the negligence of the feminine, or the wide variety of troubles that we're seeing with single motherhood consistently. And then the outcomes thereof, where you have people, generations of people who they simply cannot trust male authority. And even when you actually are like presenting things like this, is like where you start to see how debate has fallen apart. That this idea of, well, no, there's kind of a pattern of logic in, if, you're debating, pattern of logic that would follow, and then the very concept of logic. No, that you start discussing the concept of logic, what happens in these debates? Total chimp out. Total crash out. And it's oh my gosh. Wow, this dog is super amazing. It's a really cool dog. Probably got to feed that thing a lot, though. Anyway, this is no longer people who you could debate. This isn't Donahue. This isn't, I can't believe I'm always forgetting homie's name from back in the day. Jim, you'll remember, the old conservative, talk like this, and he was like gonna beat up Gore Vidal. I always forget his name. Fundamentally the not New Republic. Oh, what was that? The one that ever fell out so hard. They crashed out. Got totally felted by the reactionaries and felted by the alts and stuff like that. And then Thomas Sowell kicked in and like said crazy shit, and everybody was like, Thomas, what are you doing? Did you even write this? I like how later he was like, no, I really rethink this now. And then really went into it, like how great Trump was and how it made a lot of sense and what he obviously, and I'm betting that probably people came to him who, like, that he has top of the line minds he talks to, and he was a Marine, so he's got some deep homies. So they probably were like, no, he's got a bunch of people. Our government's lousy with treason. No, here, let me start mapping it out for you, and because he changed his tune, and so that's the last part, treason. 5,000 names from the FBI. There's no treason has one outcome, and now that we're getting more and more people who they're getting let go because I'm openly I'm not going to do what he says and blah blah blah. Well, the next part of this is Elon's going to go through their emails, and then it's like, treason has one outcome, and a lot of you guys are going to talk. You're going to fucking talk. Holy crap! I mean, I've been thinking about this one because dead men tell no tales. So no, it's they want to live, so they'll talk, and that's how it's going to go, and it's going to be great. The way how that's going to turn out, like the way that's going to turn out, is going to be absolutely fascinating. Holy crap! Okay, I have no idea what it is. The sun comes out. It is like maybe 40 something degrees. Sun comes out, and wow, what people wear when they're running. Anyway, I just like comparing, and you go, run, nigga, run, and then you see like a real runner, and you go, okay, so who would beat who if you had to jump a few fences? Which outfit is more advantageous if you were running from the cops? It's like, but then I think, like, don't think like, come on now. So, I bet Hood's like, God damn it, Donovan. But yeah, I just started thinking about, like, that last part really hit me, that 5,000 of them. And then quite specifically, why they wanted this list of names, what the whole deal is about. And by the end of this, remember, there's the J6 committee. And because so many people have gotten a pardon for this and a pardon for that, there's no pardon for treason. So if they start building up a case by putting these fucking FBI agents on the squeeze, where they're like, so what's this all about? Blah, blah, blah. Your pension, your wife, your kids, your pension. Oh yeah, the knowledge that you will always be this dirty dealer who got thrown out of the FBI, and the government was looking into you for treason. How's that feel? Okay, yeah, well, not only that, but remember what the punishment for treason is, FBI agent, whatever, Schnookerheim, or Smith, or whatever, Van Alden. You're a dirty cap, and now you're gonna pay. But really, when these guys face this idea of not only are you going to pay, the price of a trader, but then on top of it, everything that you worked for is gone. Because then, that's the other part of this. Maybe you committed treason doing what you did, FBI agent, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you're just open to lawsuits from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that lots of lawyers are licking their chops to help. So which is the worst? You see what I'm getting at? Which is the worst outcome for these guys? Do they hang for treason, or do they talk and implicate a whole bunch of various people at various levels of power in a conspiracy to who knows where that's going to go? Who knows where that's going to go? But then, or you could get sued by everybody, which probably won't matter. They'll probably still be open to the lawsuits. There's probably going to be just a big payout. A lot of these people are going to get paid, the J6ers. But Trump has to make an example, especially of a lot of these quote-unquote executives who oversaw what was going on with all the J6 bullshit. They're going to have to pay big time. And they're under the jurisdiction of the Army if they're in senior executive services. So that's it. That's military tribunal. And that the evidence for that can be used widely in other cases from what I remember, but I would have to know about that more. And yeah, these people, there's a reason why they're scared. At first I was like, oh, they're scared, the right wing's like, yeah, we got, yeah, yeehaw, but then some things started to happen, and then I was like, oh my God. No, I'm seeing, you guys are getting, and then USAID, and I'm like, holy shit. They just went through USAID, and then, and Rubio, I was not expecting Rubio. Just what happened is Michael Corleone style. Rubio went full Michael Corleone. That's the thing, I'm amazed. I did not expect this from Rubio. That he's just clipping everybody. I never saw, wow. Which then kind of makes him even more fucking scary in a way. I just never saw this from you, Marco. Marco getting busy with the Glock, dude. That's and Marco pulled out the 9 and got busy. And he flew all the heads, and just anybody who's up against it, boom, they're gone. And with Elon now and the stuff from Doge, and then people like, oh, we don't think Elon should have this data, boom, gone. This is so. This is amazing. This is truly. I'm sitting back this is amazing. This is an actual, using the system to purge people who are a problem. And then they're going to have to make their argument that they weren't a problem and that what they did was not wrong. And now Trump has, have you seen these women? This is the kind of thing that makes you fear, highly functional, sane, pretty women. This is the reason why there's so many men who are intimidated by beautiful women are Trump's female law team. These are ninja. This is the Naginata unit. This is you're just holy crap, because these aren't no fembots. No. You see, they kind of didn't have independent action. No, this is some specialized Naginata unit of female lawyers. It's just amazing. was amazed. And so I'm thoroughly, the next part is this. Again, I want to thank all of these cities where people are like, deport me, Trump on you, and then people who've gone out of their way to stay in the city, and they just need to pass by you. Oh no, you're not. They're no, we're not going to be cool, and allow them some, to slow things down and allow them by. No, we're not. We're going to be uncool, and we're going to create fantastic footage for a nationalist like me of people messing with people in cars. Don't do that if you want people to support your movement. Don't do that. No one likes that. No lico. Me no lico that. No one desires that, but no, you can't control it. Just like the BLM people. You just can't fucking control it. And it's like, you're in a place where most likely people are down with you. They're in a city with you. They haven't. This is years and years and years after people have been escaping your city. You've been hemorrhaging civilians from California. So who's there in LA willing to drive on a freeway still? People who like LA, and they probably like Hispanic people. And there you go, trying to fuck with them in their cars. Because gas is extremely expensive because of the vote of women and Hispanic people. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't probably be there anymore and angry about this. Unless you had voted to make it such that, oh my God, my car is going to run out of gas while I wait for these fuckers to be idiots on the freeway. Could have been cool. You gave me footage. You gave me content. You gave me free content. Gratis. Contento gratis. I don't fucking, God damn it. And then the best part about it is, I'm sorry, Hispanic people can't go talking a lot about fascism and Nazism. No. You guys don't get no. Because the only countries that we can cite outside of Europe and that region of the world that were into that were Hispanic countries. Mexico's the one that in the 70s gunned down and reportedly took the knife to protesters. Was it November 8th in 73 or something like that? It was somewhere around